There we go. Cool. All right, welcome everybody to your own personal launching party. I want to give some instruction right off the bat so that people can make sure they're ready. And I'm not. Oh my goodness. So, well, I'm going to get my oil, my essential oil. Did you remember yours? Okay, so if you have one, make sure that you get that, and I'll be right back. Oh. All right. Okay, and for anyone who did not, whoa. I think I have to put him in a room because he's going to be barking, and I can't let that happen to you. Hey, Bobo, come here. Come here, babe. Come here, babe. Remember when? Kind of like a wedding, you know? There's always this craziness that goes on before the wedding starts, and then it all looks so beautiful. Nobody knows how hard it was just beforehand. But okay. It's being posted. No, okay. I'm gonna make sure I keep my phone open for Shelley. All right, so no, it's whatever you're led. If you have several oils, just pick the one that you feel your spirit will know, right? So it can be lavender if you need peace and calming, and that's another oil actually. If you're afraid of the session because of your trauma of your past, then lavender would be a good one. All right, it can be a citrus to bring you back alive, to resurrect you. Again, I'm using joy because it's my kind of my favorite right now, but it's young living, and I like my oils better, but I had a rose geranium from that farmer in Oregon who is the top plant breeder in the world, and I'm out. Oh, it's magnificent. It's just so high frequency, but we'll just have to wait until we get our plants in the ground and make our own. So anyways, so for those who did not get the memo, in the Facebook post, if you scroll down any one of my pages on Facebook, you'll see all the instructions. And if you didn't prepare in advance, you want to do that afterwards, or even go find it right now so you can follow along and write on a notepad. So make sure you have a notepad to write down all these things, unless you already did, which I hope you already did, because then it's going to be so much more powerful. And for rumblers, I did put the instructions in the description box under the last video that I did. So that's where you'll find it, okay? I was wearing a cream colored hat. That's how you know which hat was it when you need to find something. All right. So I just want you to know that I'm very weepy right now because of several things. And one being that I actually prepared all day. I prayed all day and meditated to make sure that it would be the best possible session for you, because of the challenge of the fact that when I ask the right questions, I can't hear your answer. And so that's disappointing. But because of how many of these I've done, I have an idea, how to go about it. And so I just feel like something big is going to happen tonight. Something, and I'm not trying to guarantee anything, but I'm just saying the potential for healing, immediate healing, or by morning healing is very, very possible. But it's dependent on what you believe. Okay. It's not dependent on me. It's dependent on you. All right. All right. So now the other thing, and I have a surprise for you too at the end. So I'll explain it when we get there. But the other thing is that last night I received a call late at night from a person who was in an emergency, like a life or death situation. And I know this person quite well. I love this person, and I wanted to help. And she, I need to go get her. I need a jet. I was trying to, my mind was racing all the things that I would need. It would be like a challenge on many levels, what most people would call impossibles, but I don't believe in the impossible. So I'm like, I'm good. I'm ready to go. And so I said, okay, I made a list in my mind. This is what needs to happen. I need a large sum of money. And, we just helped a lady, just so you know, one of our followers is a senior, a very beautiful, young looking senior. And she was going to be evicted within the next day. And there was a time limit that we had to raise the money. And total strangers gave to this lady, and we were able to keep her in her apartment. And but there's no extra money, okay, for anything else. And so I would have to go from Texas clear across the country to pick this lady up on a stretcher and put her in a private jet. You see how big I dream? This is what would have to happen, okay? And then, bring her here and put her up in a B&B and minister to her, do my therapy for her every day, and bring in other practitioners and take her to the med beds. All right. So this is all the things that I had going on. And so I made one call, my first call. I received $50,000. Okay. And then my second call, I called a pilot and I asked him if he knew how we could get a Mercy flight. And he said, let me work on it. I'm coming back from so-and-so, such and such a place, and I'll go right to the airport and get the list of pilots and jets and see what I can find. And I will hear from him tomorrow on that. I fully believe I'll get that. But if there's anyone out there who has a jet and you are a pilot, we can pay for fuel. So if you know anyone, please have them contact us at hope@someonebelievesyou.org. Okay. All right. And so we've got all these volunteers waiting to assist and to do therapy and make meals and all these wonderful things. And so I firmly believe I will be able to go and get her by this weekend, I'm hoping. All right. Now let me tell you about the med beds. All right. So like I said, there is one locally in my town that is private. It's private use, and I'm not allowed to tell anybody about it, but I've been allowed to use it. And but then there is a center in Bulverde, Texas, and I'd heard about it, but I didn't really know anything about it. And then someone said Scott McKay has a center in Dallas. And so I checked them both out, and the one in Bulverde is the same as Scott McKay's. And so this one is very close to me. And so I called the lady and I was so excited. So I'm telling you this for your sake because she was in a hurry because she had clients, but she said, we had a vet come to us who was in really bad shape in many different ways. And he walked with a walker, could hardly get into the center. And he had his first session with this certain type of med bed. It's called EE or something. And he got up and walked out without his walker. Wow. So yeah, we're going to be going. And I'm going to be able to utilize it myself as well, because I'll be there with her. And so I'll be able to tell you all about it. So very soon now. Okay. So anyway, very, very excited about all of that. And so it's almost like the shift has already happened for me. Things are moving in advance. And so that leads me to believe it is, we are moving, it's happening. Now, I don't have an update for you because everything has gone silent. And that's always an update. That is a sign of something happening. And I will know something tomorrow, hopefully. But it appears that it's in motion at this moment. So that's a maybe. The M word. We're using the M word, maybe. All right. So no guarantees. I'm just saying it sure looks like it, that something is up. Something's happening. All right. Okay. So you have your oil, right? And you have a pad of paper and a pen. Let me see. Hopefully everybody has gotten in okay. I mean, what challenges? Because, Zoom changed things and Facebook changed things. And when I tried to do a test today from Zoom, it said you must change over to your personal page, and I did not want to. And so then I said, okay, and so then I am zooming in right now to my personal page, but it gave me a choice to go to the track page. Oh, thank you very much. I would have loved to go on there. But instead, we went into my personal settings and changed everything to make sure that no one had trouble getting in and no one has trouble commenting. And I would love to hear from anyone who had trouble in the past and tell me it worked. I would love to hear that. All right. And we are actively working on Rumble, and hopefully our very next trek will be live streamed from Rumble into Facebook and YouTube. And so nobody's going to miss out. And the Rumblers will be very happy. So they don't, because they have to wait for the update. I mean, sorry, I've got an update on my mind, the replay, right? So yeah, it's going to get gooder and gooder, people. All right. So, okay. So let me, clear my desk here and get everything in ready to go. Sure, that's okay. Yes, it is. Okay. Get rid of that. Awesome. Okay. Looks good. All right. Now, one thing I want to say before we start is this is not a counseling session, so counseling, the reason people are in counseling for decades is because they want you to talk about the problem. And I don't believe in that. All right. So I told people that were following me at the time, and some of you may not have heard it, but when I first learned emotional release method, I did it the way they said, and they had you tell what happened to you. So as a therapist, I listened to horrific stories every day. And after a year, I was bedridden. All right. And I was like, what is wrong with me? And then I went to a Dr. Caroline Leaf event, and she said, she showed it on a graph. When you tell a painful story over and over again, it re-traumatizes you and those who hear it. So it's like, you don't want to tell all the gory details, and you don't want to tell it with the same emotion of when it happened, or you are going to be traumatized again. And so is the person listening. And so we don't go there. So right off the bat, you can be relieved, you can relax, because we're not going to go there. We're not going to get into it. What we're going to do is find that memory when it happened, and we're going to look away immediately and look for the lie and the truth. You're not going to revisit that, only the location. All right. And quickly move away. But if you have your music playing, it will keep you calm, even in that second that we go back there. All right. Now, I do want to say something about listening to music. I don't know how hard it will be for you tonight to listen to your music on a laptop device or an iPad instead of a phone, because a phone cuts off so many frequencies. I mean, like 2/3, 3/4 of the frequencies of the power of the music. It is a very bad thing to do, because it trains your ear to hear something that's inferior and maybe, I don't know if it's damaging, but it's sure not going to help you, And so I know earbuds are not really good for you, but you might want to invest in some headphones if you want to listen to music on a long-term time. But since you have to hear me tonight, you would have to have one ear open and one ear listening to the music. Okay, so just have the music low enough that it doesn't hinder listening to what I'm saying. And I'm just putting my volume up now. Okay, all right, so just a lesson in music. Okay, all right, so I had you write down your 3 top negative emotions, and I'm hoping that you can figure out which one is the taproot. So the taproot is the one that could cause the other 2. So I wrote down some examples: anger, fear, depression. So anger would not cause fear. Anger would not be a really root cause of depression. Depression would not cause the fear and the anger in a major way, but the fear issue, the fear of something, would cause the anger, and it would cause the depression. All right, so you kind of play around with it a little bit. And then, so a lot of people's taproot is fear, but you have to know what the fear is about before we can actually go back and pull the lie. Okay, so just a little heads up on all of that. And so now we're going to start the session. All right. I wish I could see you right now, because that would, that would help. All right. So anyway, you're going to take your oil and you're going to put a drop on your hand. I was just trying to get some out. And then you're just going to cup your hands over your nose and exhale. And again, exhale, inhale. All right, so what we've just done is we have engaged the limbic part of the brain, which is the seat of the emotions. So we have gotten a hold of the very area that we need to go to just by doing what we just did. All right. All right, now get comfortable, get relaxed. I hope you have Kleenex. All right. All right, so are you ready to, you have the emotion that you need to address? Okay. So close your eyes and think about that negative emotion. How did that feel? And now we ask the creator of your life to guide you back to the earliest childhood memory that you remember feeling like that. And if you've already prepared, then you probably already have that memory ready to go. But if not, when you do the replay, take your time. And it has to be one that you can remember the details. I mean, it's just easier that way. You can always do it another way, like if it was from the womb, you could do it, but it's easier if you have the details and the memory of it. So you drift back, go to that location or that room where this trauma happened to you, and look in the room for Jesus or Father God, because they were there. All right, so look for them. Gaze into their eyes, whichever one you feel led to do. Lock into the eyes and look at the emotion that he feels about what happened to you. What is it? What do you see? Write it down. Now, if you don't see his eyes, I want you to imagine his eyes. Feel how he felt. Feel his emotion about what happened to you. Get in touch with his feelings right now. Okay, then what age were you? That's all we want to know, is just, a general age of what age you might have been when this happened. All right. All right, now, Holy Spirit, would you come and whisper in this amazing little person's ear? What is the lie they began to believe about themselves when this happened? Because children always blame themselves because they believe all the adults are right, always right. So they blamed themselves and they believed a lie about themselves that warped their destiny from then on. What was that lie? I'm just going to do a sample. 1, not good enough. Because that is a lot of people's lie. All right. So I'm just using it as a sample and you can just convert it to whatever yours is. So here's this little one, so young, and already they're beginning to believe that they're not good enough. Tragic. But not only that, they're coming to a conclusion about life. If this is true about me, then I'm going to have to do what to survive my life? What was your coping mechanism? How are you going to deal with that? If I'm not good enough, then how am I going to get through life? And people have many different solutions that they come up with. I'm going to have to try hard. I'm going to have to do better and try harder than everybody else. And then they get that stress that they lose their peace. They can't be free. And then some people say, I just can't, I'm not going to try because I'll never be able to, because I'm just not good. I'm bad. Or I'll just have to stay in the shadows. And maybe if I stay in the shadows, they won't hurt me. They won't reject me for not being good enough. Tragic. So I'm going to call him Papa. So Papa, here's this beautiful child, incredible destiny awaiting. And they believe that they're not good enough. And not only that, they believe that they're just going to have to be quiet and stay in the shadows so they won't get rejected, or they're going to have to serve other people's dreams, or just work themselves into oblivion and think, but it'll never be enough. Is that true? Is that true, God? Everything you did was perfect. You looked at everything you made and you said, it's good. But you glitched out on this one? Really? This one just didn't turn out well. You just it was just a glitch, right? I don't know about that. Look in his eyes. Does he agree with you on that? How does he feel about that? I've never had one person say he agreed with it. He always says no. All right, so we're going to prove in a court of law, the courtroom of heaven, what the truth is, and we're going to prove it 4 ways. We're going to submit evidence for the truth. And by the time we get done, you will know the truth. And the truth will set you free from this thing that has held you down all these years. It has dogged your steps. And it was reinforced over and over and over again by many people. And so it seems like it's true because, it happened over and over again, right? Maybe something else was going on that caused all of that. All right, so evidence number 1, I asked you to write a resume. Not that you want to work, but if you wanted to make a difference in the world and you wanted to join yourself to a group, to an organization that was helping people, and it was something that you were really good at and you loved it, and you didn't care about a paycheck, but they gave you a whopping paycheck that you just couldn't believe. And so you got paid for doing what you love. So you wanted to write a resume to tell them what you can bring to the table. And they've already decided they want you, but they want to know what you feel you can bring to the table so they can utilize all your gifts. And so you begin by writing down what you're good at, what you love to do, what people have complimented you for, even bosses, former teachers. And you write all of that down. Doesn't matter what it is. It can just be even knitting, or I'm good at reading or listening or anything like that. All the qualities you have of the things you love. And when you were in high school, what did you major in? What were you good at in school, either high school or grade school or college? Write all those things down. And then write down your character traits. And sometimes people can't think of anything. And I just keep asking the right questions until it prompts something. And finally, we get the pump running. It's rusty because a lot of people have a hard time talking well about themselves. They've been taught they can't do that. That's pride. No, it's not. It's agreeing with God about what he made. It's a fact, what he put in you. So character traits: kindness, mercy, compassion. Is this you? Betcha. Love, generosity, good listener, care about people. You love people. You're a people helper. You're thoughtful. What else? Tender. Does that fit you? Other things like problem solver, visionary. Have a good imagination. Keep going and add to it every day. Oh, that's right. So-and-so said I was this. Write it down. Keep that list. Okay, and then what about your gifts? Your gifts that God gave you, like healing. Can you heal people? I think there are some here who can. And maybe it's been dormant, but you felt like you believed you could. How about you know things that you have no way of knowing, but you know things. You have the gift of knowledge. You get details. You have dreams and you get details. Or you just have a sense about something. Discernment. You have all of that. You know how to figure things out and come to the right conclusion or a very good conclusion. Knowledge, understanding, wisdom. People come to you because you're so full of it. You give good advice because you can see many different sides of a problem and you know how to solve it. Prophecy. You tell people, you can read people's mail, so to speak. You know things about them and you can tell them what God thinks about them. What else? The gift of faith. Do you believe that anything is possible? Bet you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be here. Because what we are believing in this new day corporate experience is like fantastical, isn't it? It's beyond belief what we believe now, right? So that's a gift of faith right there. Do you see further than most people? You can see the answer that no one else can see, and they fight you because they can't see it. It's almost like, Legolas, what do your elf eyes see? You can see further and clearer about things than most people. Okay. What about hobbies? What do you love? You love to dance. You love to laugh. You love to edify people, encourage. You're an encourager. You're a dreamer. You love travel. You love a good adventure. Write it all down. You give good hugs. What else? Just keep asking yourself, what else have people said about me? What else do I know about myself? Know thyself. You have to know yourself if you're going to fly into your highest destiny. Can't go anywhere if you don't know yourself. A lot of people have forgotten themselves because the lie caused them to put themselves aside and only care about others, because if it's about you, it's selfishness. You can't prioritize yourself. How could you? But that's what they used to say on the airplanes, right? Put your own oxygen mask on first before assisting those around you, or you won't be around long enough to help many people. You cannot give yourself away forever and never replenish. Okay. So if I was in a one-on-one session, I keep asking you, what else? What else? Here's a word that you wrote down. Is there anything more like that? Use your imagination to make that list as big as you can get it. And for those who did already do this, I hope that list is really big, because I want to tell you something about it. I know it is, because you're one of a kind that has ever lived or ever will live. And you have ingredients an equation of ingredients that no one else has. You're unique. And that is huge value. You are not expendable for someone else's dream. So look at that list and ask yourself, is it possible that the lie can still be true for a person with this list? Does that make any sense? Now let's say you are hiring someone and this is their list. When you look at that list, would you hire this person? It's a pretty good list, isn't it? I'd hire that person. So if you would hire that person, how can that lie be true? I would like to submit this as evidence number 1 in the courtroom of heaven. Thank you very much. All right, let's move on. Evidence number 2, messengers with love notes. So the creator of the entire universe has thought about you so many times. It's more in number than the sand on the seashore, and it's a literal number because he's called the Ancient of Days. No beginning and no ending. And so when you were born, your DNA blueprint was visible by the spirit realm. The evil spirits could see who you really were. Your spirit emanated out and it was able to be read. Your DNA could be read. And they were like, no, we cannot let this person escape into the world because they're going to mess up our evil plans. And so immediately, and I've done this for a decade or more, and I'm telling you, it always pans out. The lie is 100% opposite of your DNA. And so you take the lie and you flip it 100% to the extreme opposite, and you have the truth. But we have to find a way to look at it and say it that is like a riddle that causes the lie to be just eradicated. All right, and we'll get there. But for now, just understand that that lie was a sliver. It wasn't your fault, and it was pounded into you in childhood by a significant person like a parent or an older sibling or a teacher. And then it kept going, because once you have that lie in you, then you expect to be treated that way. It is a magnet that keeps drawing that to happen to you. It's not a sign that it's true. It's a magnet. So you have to pull it out and get rid of it so that the whole scenario stops. And so God is always in control, and he's seeing that. He's going, well, this can be used for training. This person will be trained by this, and it'd be like boot camp. And because I know that this child is special ops. This person is like one of those people that would be called by the highest authorities for a gifted child program in their expertise, their bent, their ingredients. All right. The more you go through, the higher the calling or the more scope of influence. That's the sign. That's a sign. If you give me your list of physical issues, I know right off you're a leader. If it's big, if it's a big, long list and a horrible past, then I know you're a world changer. Okay. So God is watching all this and he goes, I'm going to have the last say. So I'm going to begin to take some of those love notes from the sands on the seashore, and they're all love notes. And I'm going to begin to send them through people in their lives. Anybody I can get their attention to send one, I'm going to send one the whole life long. And so beginning from your grandparents, who was it? Were there any one of your grandparents who were kind to you, who made you feel significant, who said or did something that made you feel special? Anything, even a hug. Even grandma used to make cookies for me when I would go over there, or grandpa used to take me on walks, or anything like that, that you have a fond memory of. Write it down. Some people don't have any of those memories for grandma and grandpa. That's okay. We're just going to start there, okay? And you can use mom and dad if either one of them said or did anything that made you feel good or special. Then go to siblings. Was there any one of your siblings that was special, that cared for you, that protected you, that anything? Then go to your neighborhood friends or friends at school. How many friends did you have? That's important to know. Was it a lot? Who were your closest friends? How many of those did you have? Why did they want to be your friend? What does that mean to be a friend? Does it mean that you are vulnerable with that person and you believe that they are worthy of opening up to, and they feel the same about you? It's an honor to be called a friend. Then what about the neighborhood children's parents, like your neighbors, the adult neighbors in the neighborhood? Did any one of them notice you in a positive way and smile at you even? Did you think of them, well, like, she's a nice person because she was nice to you? That's all I'm looking for. That's good enough. That's a love note. Kindness, because it tells you something. Why would they do that? Did they say anything that blessed you? Did they invite you in and you had meals with their family? They noticed that things weren't quite right at home. Something like that. All right, then we're going to go to school, grade school. How many of your teachers do you remember fondly that they were kind? They just were gentle with you. They smiled. They gave you some privileges that no one else got, or you got to erase the board, and you felt special that she picked you, or that she said, good job on your math test. Any kind of memory like that you still have, you still have it because it made an impression on you. Sometimes people go to parochial schools where the teachers were mean the whole time in grade school. Don't worry about that. We have to start there because teachers have a huge impact on children. So don't worry about it if there wasn't anyone. That's okay. But keep writing down those names. Even if you can't think of their name, put, I think it was 3rd grade, and she taught me how to sew during recess, something like that. All right. Hall monitor, anybody that was kind to you or gave you a hug or anything like that. The smallest thing, that is a love note. It means a lot to a child. All right, keep going. Start from kindergarten and keep going. More friends. Write down those friends that you were with for a long time, or those friends that you still have a relationship after all these years. How many are long-termers? That's a significant, very significant. Okay. All right, now go to bosses. How many jobs did you have and how many bosses? And what bosses do you remember that encouraged you, that, edified you and said, good job, hey, that was awesome. And they gave you responsibilities, extra responsibilities that were maybe security related or something. They trusted you. Write down all of them. Any fellow employees that were good to you, that said nice things to you, that looked up to you. Okay. Then go to spiritual authority figures or mentors. Who was it that helped to shape who you are spiritually and led you to learn and to grow? Who were those people? Right from the beginning, write those people down, what they said, what they did, what impact they had on your lives, even if some of these people later hurt you. Don't worry about that. They were successful in delivering at least one love note. Okay. That's all we care about. We're going to let the rest go for now. Okay. All right. Just keep going with the spiritual authority figures or leaders, mentors, that they did make a difference in your life, even if they goofed up later. All right. Okay. And then more friends that you gained later in life. Who are they and what have they done or said that has made a difference for you and it made you feel good? Why are they your friends? What do they see in you that makes them want to have a long-term relationship with you? Significant. Okay, now look at that list. If you really take the time, you're going to have a very long list. These are the people that took the witness stand in the court, and they all testified in your behalf. This is a long list. Could all these people agreeing that you're an amazing person, could they all be wrong? And if you ask these people, told them what the lie was that you believed, would they agree with the lie? Nope. They would go, what? Are you kidding me? No. I submit this as evidence number 2 in the courtroom of heaven. And at about this time, we have been watering the ground around where the lie is embedded, and it's starting to loosen. All right, it's almost ready to be pulled. And we've got 2 more huge pieces of evidence. And when we get to that last one, that sucker's going to come right out of there. And you're going to look back at that lie and say, how did I ever fall for that? All right, but I'm telling the end of the story too soon. I'm just saying, get ready to be happy. All right, the third piece of evidence. I'm hoping that you wrote down your ideal life. When I do this in session, I don't tell them in advance that we're going to do it. And immediately, bam, 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 everything comes rolling out of them, just easy. What are the dreams that you had when you graduated high school that you think died? And now it's too late. I'm too old. I don't have the money. My health is gone. I can't do that now. That was just a pipe dream. I'm going to tell you that dreams never die. They fall to the ground and they germinate until the right time. And they are already poking up. And you can see the beautiful green, fresh life coming up from the parched earth of your life. Write it down. What is it that you always wanted to do, but you had a family instead? What is it that you always wanted to do, but somebody stabbed you in the back? Somebody slandered you, somebody stole from you, and you didn't get to do it? Write it down. This is your day. You're being resurrected. What do you love to do? If you had all the money in the world, what would you do with it? So, if God is your Father and He already gave you all things that pertain to life, it means He's already given you your inheritance. You have a bank in the real world that is bulging right now. How many zeros? Go look in the bank with your holy, sanctified imagination. Close your eyes. How many zeros are on that balance sheet? Dream big. The only way you can disappoint Him is dreaming too small. How big is He? How generous is He? How big is that bank account? I hope you said limitless. Okay. What else? What else would you do if there were no hindrances in your life anymore? We've already made the shift. You've been on the med bed. You got all your teeth back. You got your organs back that they took. Your hair isn't gray anymore. You have energy off the charts. You can run a marathon. You're just full of joy. Health is not an issue anymore. You're not even overweight anymore. You're young. You've lost your wrinkles. You're beautiful. Picture it. You were in your prime, in your physical condition, but yet you're full of wisdom from all the experiences that you've been through and all the overcoming that you've done. So you are now your best self. You've been given a second chance at life. So what is it that you want to do? You want to travel? Write it down. Where do you live? What kind of a house do you live in? Do you have two houses? Because you help people all over the world, you really need two houses. Truly, you can't be doing all that travel. So where would the other house be? Where would you always wanted to be and live and visit? Write it down. Do you have land? Do you grow things? Do you have lots and lots of landscaping and flowers? What kind of car? It doesn't have to be the highest. It's just whatever kind of car you like. Okay, it doesn't have to be about money, but it's about just because there's enough to go around, it doesn't matter. You see, there is no shortage anymore. Everyone is going to be blessed according to what they believe. Okay, who is it that you want to help in the world? Is there someone, some people group that you want to change their lives? Who is that? And where are you doing that? How big is your sphere of influence? Some people are just called to their city, some to their whole state, some to the nation, and some to the world via the internet. How big is your sphere of influence? Bet it's big. What else? Do you want to invent things? Do you want to download things? Do you want to download solutions to the world's problems? Do you want to download cures? Do you want to just be able to heal people? Do you want to help people learn how to open their eyes and how to play again? How to dream again? What do you want to do? Make that list as long as you possibly can. Play. All right. So let's say you've gotten it written. All right. Now I want you to look at that list. This list is a long list. It's a big list. It's kind of outrageous to the world standards, right? Is it possible for a person that has this lie, and that lie is supposedly true, to have a list like this? To have this kind of DNA blueprint? If they have this DNA blueprint, can the lie be valid? Is it still true? Does it feel true? Does it feel like it's a joke yet? Are you a little miffed that the enemy wanted you to carry something that didn't belong to you, and it warped you and you walked with a limp? You need to have a little righteous indignation at this point, like, how dare you? No, I refuse to carry this any longer. This does not belong to me. It doesn't fit me anymore, and I'm going to throw it off like a dirty coat. Are you there yet? All right. So now I'm going to tell you that you have just seen the future. That list of your dreams and your ideal life, that was your future. The reason is because your spirit knows all things. Your mind blocks the knowledge of it, but your spirit has the ability to read the inside wall of your DNA blueprint. Guess who wrote the blueprint? Your creator wrote it. You read it accurately, which means he already said yes to all your dreams. You saw the future. And some of it is coming up in 2024. You'll know what parts of it are doable in 2024. And because he wrote it, he is going to fund it. You will have no lack if you believe. All right. How true does the lie feel now? We are making a mockery in the courtroom of this lie. All right. Now I have evidence number 4. This is my gift to you tonight. So normally I would take the person's name, find out the name meaning, and then I have like a, what do I want to call it? Something that I wrote according to a person's name meaning, and I can take some of those ingredients and create a song out of it. And I thought, I've done it for states and it fits because I have the name of the state, right? But since you are a group, I have never done a Destiny song for a social media group, let alone 2. So we've got 2 social media groups, and I'm going to sing a Destiny song that applies to everyone. What? So anyway, I really believe it. I worked on it, and I felt such a strong power on it. And maybe it won't all apply to you and to everyone, but there's going to be elements in this song that fit you 100% and will bring you to tears. So that's why you need to have your Kleenex ready. Your spirit will tell you if it's true about you. You'll just have this like, yes. And then the tears will immediately flow without warning. And you'll know she got it. She got me. All right. And when I thought about the fact that you follow me, I knew something about you. And so I knew where to go and what ingredients to put into your song. Okay. Okay. So, because, my equipment was sold for drugs, my sound equipment, I have to do this kind of a quirky way. And what that is I'm going to put headphones on and listen to the music so that I get inspired by the music. I jump off into the the real world by listening to the music. It propels me. And so you won't hear the music, but you will hear me sing. So then afterwards, I have someone who's going to, and I'm going to actually record into my phone because the phone does a pretty good job of recording where Zoom does not. Because you've noticed in the past when I tried to sing that it cut out here and there, and I don't want that. So I'm going to sing into the phone, and then I'm going to give him the background music, and he's going to put them together and create a professional quality song that you'll always have. And I'll put it on Facebook and Rumble. Okay, you ready? This is what God thinks about you. All right. You might want to just close your eyes and let it penetrate the ground of your heart. I'm going to do a test to make sure you can still hear me. I hope so. All right. Shelley, can you tell me if you can still hear me with the headphones on? Should be okay. Okay, still waiting. Yes. Oh, good. Okay. Oh. Okay. All right. So I have some notes from my chart that I use, but a lot of times what he would do during a session is I would start with the chart and then he would like push me out of the way and go, let me at him. Like I can feel this passion come from the heart of God. So I have this ability that I can feel what God feels for people. And it is a rush. It is such an incredible feeling of this passion coming through me. And so I know you're going to feel it and hear it as well. So, all right. So here we go. Oh, sorry. I got to get my phone ready. It's a lot to think about. Once upon a time, the Creator thought about you and planned for you. He created you. And then he tucked you into his heart for a very long time. But he thought about you all the time. Eons and eons and generations passed, and he thought of you, and he longed for you to come forth to life. And he waited until the time was right, and he chose you, he handpicked you to shine at this time. Oh, 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 he sent you. He sent you into a world in chaos, but he knew you would make it. He knew you would pass every test, and you did. Good job, A++. And he sent you to earth to be born. And he knew what he was doing. Even through the pain he saw you went through, he knew you would make it. 'Cause he knew what he put inside you to thrive, to overcome. He knew you had a strong backbone. He knew you had a brilliant mind to figure it all out. Boot camp was brutal, as you know. Special ops always is. But he believed in you. Someone believed in you from day one, before day one. 'Cause you were in him. Before he made the world, you were in him. You came from him to the world. He made you multi-talented. You were born to challenge the rules and go against the tide. And that didn't go too well with those around you. But you were born strong for a reason. Risk taker, cliff jumper, yeah. You were born to be free, born to fly, born to soar above the problems. You didn't know why you never fit in, but you forgot that you're not from here. Oh, you refused to be ordinary. You were a dreamer who refused to give up. You're a seeker of the mysteries and the secrets of the real world. Treasure hunter, teachers, gifted to be able to recreate a stable foundation out of the ruins of the old system. You can do it. You know how to do it. Creative leader, a restless adventurer with a brilliant mind that thinks outside the box. There is no box, and you know it. You know it because you see it clearly in the real world. You're a prophet, a mystic, a seer with the gift of wisdom, open-minded, deep thinker, might even be a writer, artistic, musical. You got bionic eyes that see into the invisible realms. Miracle worker, yeah. Yeah. And you were all alone during this war. But you looked around and suddenly you found yourself among friendly faces, total strangers. You found your tribe online, and it was like you knew them, like you've always known them, but you never even met them. But your spirit knows who is your kinfolk, the real deal. The real meaning of family is those who recognize you. They see you. They celebrate you. They see that big heart pumped out of your chest, and they relate to you. You're a good counselor, good people helper. You've always given more and loved deeper than most people. And you got taken advantage of it. You got taken advantage of over and over and over. But now you're wiser. And even though they taught you to believe that you didn't count, you now know that you do just as much as anybody else. You're a peacemaker, ambassador of love, real love, the kind that endures all things. And this year is going to be the best year of your entire life. Oh, I wish I could see your eyes right now. Did it hit home? Did you hear a message from the King to you? Are you surprised that you had all of that inside of you, resident inside of you, maybe laying dormant? Did you know that his thoughts of you were that good? Now, when you think about that song and the ingredients in that song, is it possible that that lie can be even remotely true? Your spirit knows the truth and it heard the truth somewhere in that song. Now, are you ready to pull that lie? Are you ready to call it a lie and be done with it forever? Shake it off. Kick it out. Kick it to the curb. It doesn't belong to you. It doesn't fit you. It doesn't look good on you. And now you are not going to be hindered in that area ever again. But the brain needs a new track for the truth to run on. Because you've walked with the warp so long, your body is going to want to go back. Your mind is going to want to go back to the familiar. You can't let it. So you want to say your truth, write it down, put it on your fridge, put it on your mirror, put it in your car, say it every day. And every night before you go to sleep, ask God for more. So if your thoughts of me are more in number than the sand in the seashore, and those are all love notes, what else do you want to say? What else can you tell me? He doesn't mind if you were mad at him. He can handle that. Explain to him why you were. Ask questions. He'll answer you. You'll find out. You'll either have a dream, you'll get a song when you wake up in the morning. Pay attention to the words. You'll see it on a book cover as you go through a store. You'll hear somebody talking with their friend and you'll pick it up and you go, oh, that was the answer. That's how you hear. Or you just wait in silence and listen, and the first thing that comes to you, pay attention to it. If it doesn't make your heart leap, that's not the one. Move it aside. Listen again. Whatever comes to you that makes your heart leap or you cry, that is your truth, the one, your superhuman multivitamin that sets you free. That is the key that breaks the chains of that lie. Don't stop here. This is just the beginning. Science says it takes 63 days to finalize a truth when you've had a lie going on for as long as you have. I have found it that it didn't have to be that long. It depends on your spiritual sight and how much you've exercised it. It depends on your holy imagination and your beliefs, your ability to believe. But I would just go ahead and do that. Just keep reiterizing it and keep repeating it and sing it. Dance move your body while you're saying the truth. That helps to get it instilled in the body. All right. The degree of success with the lie pulling is usually those who do their repeat the truth every day. I had a student recently who had an incredible transformation right before my eyes, and her health issues disappeared immediately. And then, 6 months later, her health issues returned, and I asked her, did you go the distance with the truth to install it? And she went, no. I stopped because I fixed my health issues, and so I just got lazy. And she reinstituted it. She started back up saying her truth, and the health issues resolved again. All right. And just because they don't disappear overnight, don't take that as any sign whatsoever. You keep going. I had one lady that had multiple sclerosis. It disappeared in session and never came back. I had one lady who had multiple sclerosis. It took 30 days and she kept her truth up. And by the, 31st day, it was gone and it never came back. Okay. So you got to be persistent, but knowing you are a persistent person, right? Because you wouldn't be here if you weren't, after all the price you've paid. Now, all we have left to do is complete it with a prayer. And then the whole case is going to be uploaded into the files in the courtroom of heaven. And the whole case will be kicked out of the courtroom for lack of evidence. So the lie lost. And you are not guilty. You're not guilty. We have determined that already tonight. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can read this prayer with me. Okay. Can you read that? Let me know, Shelley. I can enlarge it if we need to. All right, so take your essential oil and put it on your pineal gland. Inhale it. Good. She says it's good. All right, so read it with me. Holy Spirit, thank you for removing the lie that, now say the lie. Okay, ready? Please realign every area of my being with the truth that sets me free. Cleanse this lie out of all generations of time and eternity, healing every incident that contributed to it and gave it power. Do it according to God's will until I am filled with light and truth, God's peace and love. I forgive myself for my incorrect perceptions, and I forgive every person and situation that contributed to that unhealthy perception. And then just name the people that contributed to that lie that you remember helped drive the lie in. All right. All right. I release them to the judge of all the earth who sees all things and always judges right. It's not letting them off. Understand that, right? He is the judge and he will deal with them. Because one thing you probably don't know is that when it happened, he was violently angry. Violently angry. He was like a roaring lion. And he will avenge you everything that was done to you. And it is your turn, and it is about to manifest right now. As long as you release them to him for sentencing. Okay? He'll do the right thing. You don't have to worry about that. All right, going on. With unconditional love, I now allow every physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual problem and inappropriate behavior based on the negative origin recorded in my DNA to transform. Now, we're going to fill in 3 blanks. When you say, I choose to believe, you're going to insert the truth that you got tonight. Use your imagination. Don't just use the obvious opposite. Use the thoughts and the words you heard tonight that made you weep, that brought you alive, that you could feel it deeply. Write that down. Why do you believe it? I choose to believe what about yourself that kicks out the lie, that undoes the lie. Okay, you can make it as long as you want to. And the next blank is, how does that truth make you feel now? How do you feel about the future now that you know the truth? And now, who are you? Who are you anyway? If the angels, your angels that are assigned to you, have been waiting to work with you, anxiously awaiting to work with you, they cannot wait to get going with your destiny. I've actually seen an angel celebrate one of my clients' destinies. True. This person, this lady, used to watch the clouds, and she got used to knowing when there was angelic activity. And she would just take pictures of what she thought were angels. And then the next morning, after this one night, she wanted to take a look at her pictures that she had taken the day before. And when she opened it up, she saw like a movie of an angel, and I got to see it. And she freaked out and dropped her phone because the angel actually laughed, and she sounded kind of like an elf, like that. And this garment that she had on was gold, and it looked like it had metal, like it was so thick, and it had, like, those puff sleeves like in medieval movies, and then there was a green tassel right here, or a ribbing, and then here the sleeve went way down, and it was many layers of folds, and just this, like it was made out of gold. And I saw her hand, and it was very fast, but she took the curtain of this lady's life and she pulled it back, and she laughed. She was so excited to pull back the curtain for her to be launched. I took it and I put it on my computer, and I slowed it way down so I could see the whole thing. And it was just the coolest thing. It was very hard to slow down because it was that fast, but I did. I was able to see everything, and I still have that. So anyway, you have the same thing. I just recently met my angel. Here I am in my 60s. I never thought you should be talking to your angels or anything. And mine came to me in a dream, but you can always tell when it's really not a dream. It's a night vision. I got to see him, and his name is Epicurus. And he was working on a vintage custom car for me, and a car represents your calling and your ministry and what you will do in the world. And I drove past him, and he looked at me and like he had mischief in his eyes, or like, is she seeing me this time? And I went past him like I recognized him. And when I got past him, I went, oh, it's Epicurus. It's like we know things that we've forgotten. Our spirit knows things that it doesn't tell our mind because our mind won't believe it, right? And so I went back and I go, Epicurus. And he started laughing, and he was the cutest, coolest black guy. And he had helped with my car. And so then I went to an event, and President Trump was there, and there was nobody else there but him, and he was setting things up. And I ran in and I said, President Trump, did you hear Epicurus is on the radio? He's on the airwaves. Did you hear the message? And he said, yeah. He was telling that I'm going to come on the scene after being in the cave for 14 years. And I've had multiple dreams that I would work with President Trump. So, all right. So who are you? What do your angels say when they talk about you? She's a warrior. She's a people helper. He's a problem solver. What is the description about you that you took from this session today? What stuck out to you? This is a description of who you are. All right. Okay, now all we have to do is finish. It is finished. Proclaim it out loud. It is finished, and I am forever renewed back to my original DNA. Thank you, God, for helping me attain my highest destiny. And all of heaven is throwing a party in your honor tonight. They've been waiting for you. Seriously. All right. I'm so excited to hear about your experience. So please share. Okay, I want to hear. And you'll be able to, of course, watch the replay. And just keep it going, keep listening and keep gaining and writing it down. Get a beautiful journal and write it in there and never forget it. Because this has happened in the correct timing to get you ready to go into the new world, into the new day that is just around the corner. This is no coincidence. There are none, right? Talk about timing, right? And I am honored to be the facilitator to assist you and to carry your bags as we walked into the courtroom and kick some devil butt. All right. All right. I love you and I bless you. And if you want to hear more about what God thinks about you, and you haven't gotten that, his story about your history, that would be a good thing to augment and to multiply the power of this session. All right. I'll put the link in. All right. I love you and I bless you. And we'll have this song, the full professional song done for you within about 48 hours or less, and I'll upload it for you. All right. Okay. I bless you, and we'll see you Saturday, if not before, with good news, because I should be getting some tomorrow. All right. I love you and I bless you. Good night.